everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am so thrilled to be sharing with you guys my favorite makeup products of 2020. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of a warning. I have a lot of stuff sitting in front of me. 2020 has been the year of not only buying a lot of newer products, but dipping back into my collection and discovering products that I already had and kind of falling back in love with those things. So I've got a little bit of both in this video for you guys today. I've got newer stuff and I've got stuff that I've had in my collection for a while and I just kind of rediscovered. This is all just stuff that I was super loving on this past year. So if you guys are interested to hear what my top picks are for the year of 2020, keep on watching. Alright, so let's kick it off with primers. So when I'm thinking of just primers as a whole, I really only use two all year long. The Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer and the Smashbox Oil and Shine Control primer. This one here is the standout. I used this one more than any other primer all year. Reason being is it holds my makeup in place. I have super oily skin and this keeps my makeup matte longer. It does smooth my skin. Like if you put this over bare skin and just go like that, your skin will feel super smooth. It takes care of the pores. I love this primer. I will continue to buy this primer and it's definitely my top pick for 2020. Okay, when we start talking about foundations, I'm a little bit of a foundation fanatic. I've got probably 70 some sitting over here, which I know is absolutely crazy, but I love trying foundations. I love trying to find formulas that suit my skin since I do have oily skin, and I don't know, I love trying out new foundations. So I'm pretty picky. If I find one that I know I like it and I'm a clinger. I use it constantly. So the ones I'm sharing with you, I put a lot of thought into, and they're either the ones that I used the most this year or the ones that I was the most impressed with this year. So starting off, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. This is my holy grail foundation. It has been for years. I had to include it in this video, even if I've included it in past favorites videos, because I use it on a daily basis. Not even just when I'm filming, but everyday makeup wear when I'm going to work. It helps my makeup last longer. It is perfect for oily skin. It's full coverage, so it works well with my discoloration, my hyperpigmentation. I love this foundation, and I had to mention it. The next foundation I want to mention is the Nars Radiant Longwear. This is one that took me by surprise. I got it, I think I bought it last year actually, but I used it all year long, which is why it's down to about right here now. I don't have much of this left. I used this foundation more so as a mixer. I mixed it in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, and it just adds a little bit more of that radiance, so it's not as flat, as matte looking. I love this foundation. Even on its own, I really like it. I just can't, it doesn't wear that long for me, which is why it's not typically like a standalone foundation for me, but I absolutely love it. Okay, next up in here is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is one that really took me by surprise. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I think I bought this last year. I don't think this was purchased this year, but I've been using it all year. I've got about that much left in the bottom of this bottle, and I already purchased a backup. So the fact that I have that many foundations sitting over here and I already purchased a backup tells you how much I love this one. It's full coverage, it makes my skin look airbrushed, it's long wearing, it's my perfect kind of foundation. Okay, the next foundation I'm sharing with you is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. This is one that I've been mixing in with other foundations ever since I picked this up, and I love it as a mixer. When I'm not mixing it, I like wearing it on camera for you guys because it looks really nice on camera. It's not too heavy and cakey. It covers most of my discoloration. It makes my skin look really smooth. I really enjoy this Nars foundation, so I'm glad I picked it up, and it's definitely become a favorite ever since I grabbed it. Another foundation that I just recently grabbed was the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better. Now, this is one that's not going to be very long wearing on my skin because, again, I have oily skin. However, if I don't need it to be long wearing, this is the perfect foundation for that because it looks so skin-like. It has great coverage. It has kind of a sheen to it, more of like a, I don't want to say glow, but kind of. It's just a very beautiful Your Skin But Better foundation. So if you don't have oily skin, if you've got dry skin, you're probably really going to like this. And it doesn't overemphasize like texture and pores. I really enjoy this foundation. And then last but not least in the foundation category, this is my Vital Skin Foundation Stick from Westmin Atelier. You guys don't hear me talk about this too much on my channel just because I can't wear this that often. I love it, but I can't wear it that often because it doesn't wear very long. So this is one of those types of foundations where if I want to take pictures, if I'm just going like to the store and back, or if I'm only going to be wearing it for a few hours, then this is perfect for that. It looks like skin. It has great coverage. It looks nice and dewy and healthy, and I really, really love this foundation. It's just not long wearing, so I can't wear it all the time. All right, before we head on over to concealers, I want to talk to you about the Becca Under Eye Corrector. So if you guys saw me do my recent Sephora VIB sale haul or the try-on haul or whatever, you guys probably remember me talking about how this wasn't my favorite. It was the only product that I got that I wasn't floored by and blah, blah, blah. I take it back. I totally take it all back. This is a fantastic under eye product, and I'll tell you why. I don't think this does a whole lot for like actual correcting. It doesn't really hide my dark circles. It brings luminosity to the under eyes, and it keeps the under eye area moist. When you put a drying concealer over top of this, this helps to keep the concealer moist. So for that reason, I really enjoy this under eye corrector, and I've been using the shit out of it. So I had to mention that. So when I try a product and I don't care for it very much, I don't just try it that one time and then never try it again. I'll try it a few times, or even like 3 or 4 times. I kept doing that with this, and then I realized, oh, if I put this underneath of a really drying concealer, it helps to kind of bring life back to it. Even underneath of something that's not so drying, it just helps to keep the under eye area, I don't know, just not as crepey. It doesn't get really dry under there. I really, really like this, and I'm glad that I kept using it. So this has quickly become a favorite for me this year. Okay, the next concealer I'm sharing with you, I've actually had for a really long time. I bought this towards the beginning of my YouTube journey, so we're talking middle of 2018, something like that. This is the Nars Soft Matte Concealer, and I mean, you can see how much is going out of here. It doesn't look like much, but this stuff goes a long way. You only need a tiny little bit of this concealer for it to really cover some distance. So I would say it's about halfway gone right now, and it is the perfect concealer to spot conceal. So if you're somebody that's looking to conceal blemishes, darkness, any kind of imperfection at all, put a little bit of this over top of it underneath your foundation. Perfect. Perfection. I love this concealer. I love being able to dig back in my collection and find things that I forgot about that I liked before, but I like even more now. Our tastes are constantly changing, so something that I didn't like 2 years ago, I might really like now. So I love being able to do that with my collection since I do have a lot of stuff. I've just been really enjoying what I already have. On top of buying new stuff, I like doing that too. Okay, next up in here is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I actually have 2 different shades. I've got Swan and Marshmallow. I like this for 2 reasons. I like this as an all-over foundation type of thing, you know, blend it all out. Very full coverage. It's creamy. It's not drying. It's a little heavy that way, but you just gotta know how to finagle it to make it look right. Like it for that, but I also like it as a brightening concealer. So I've been using the crap out of it. Actually, this one I think is down to about right here. And then I bought this one as like the all-over foundation type of situation. So I really love this. I've been using it all year long, and I'm sure I'll continue to use it. Next up in here, I had to mention the Dior Forever Skin Correct. Ever since I bought this, which was like 4 or 5 months ago, I think, I've been using it non-stop. I've got about, I don't know, it's a little less than half left. I love this concealer. It's creamy, it's full coverage. It looks really nice underneath the eyes. It doesn't dry down and make your under eyes look really crepey and heavy. I love it. And then, because I've been loving the crap out of that Becca Under Eye Corrector, I've fallen back in love with my Tarte Shape Tape. I only like this over top of the Becca Under Eye Corrector. If I don't use that, it looks super drying, way too heavy. It just doesn't look right. It's actually the concealer I wore today. Well, I mixed the Dior and the Tarte. I've fallen back in love with it. What can I say? It's crazy. And then last in my concealer category is the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Fetish Concealer. I always get the name of this jacked up. Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. Like, so unnecessary, Pat. But I love it. I have a shade that's a little bit too light for me, so I use it for brightening. And I usually like to mix this in with Dior. You know, they're in cahoots. I like it alone too, but I like it more as a mixer. But I've been using this a lot this past year. It's a great concealer. All right, I have several eye primers that I want to share with you. The ones that I've been using most this year are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. If you need an eye primer that's going to make your eyeshadow pop, it's going to make it stick, so your eyeshadow is really going to adhere to this, it's going to blend really well over top of, then I would go with the Anastasia Eye Primer. This one is more of like it's very bright, it's like white almost, and my eyeshadow just truly pops against this primer. So I love this. I've been using it all year. This is actually a little like mini version of it, and it's not even halfway gone. This stuff goes such a long way. So when you're buying it, you're also getting a really good value for your money. I love this eye primer. Next up in here is one that I've been loving since I bought it, which I think was like 2 years ago. This is the Louise Eye Base. This kind of reminds me of the Anastasia Eye Primer, except for the Louise Base is more like a tacky concealer almost. The Louise Base is another good eye primer if you're looking for your colors to really pop. The eye look I have going on today, I used over top of the Louise Base. So mainly what I use this for is when I want to build a dark color here, and then I want to stamp another color above that, and then I want to blend it out and make it look really seamless. This is when I'm doing the over-the-top looks. That's when I use this. And I think it just does a fantastic job having eyeshadow adhere to it, blending over top of it, you know, making the colors really pop. I love the Louise Base. And then last but not least for eye primers is my Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base. So I purchased this, I think after watching Britt talk about it, Britt Clark, I think. And I'm almost halfway through this, which is saying a lot because I do have a lot of eye primers. I like this because it cancels out all of the color on my lids. It just gives me that clean canvas. It does a really good job adhering eyeshadow to it. They blend really nicely over top of it, and my eyeshadow will wear longer. So this has become a quick favorite of mine this year, and I've been using it quite a bit. All right, now let's get into the powders. So there's been like a handful of powders I've been using all year, and then a couple that I discovered recently. The first one I want to mention is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder. Mine's in the shade Butter. This is such a great powder. Mine's about halfway gone, and I've got a lot of powder in my drawer. Sounds sketchy. Seriously though, this is such a great powder. I use it all the time. It makes my skin look airbrushed, just flawless, smooth. Love this powder. It makes my makeup last longer. This is a staple. The next one I want to share with you that I've been using a lot is the Huda Beauty Baking Powder. This one's in Pound Cake. It makes my skin look so smooth. This is actually the one that I wore today for this makeup look. It really locks my makeup into place. It makes my skin look really airbrushed. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a fantastic powder. When I'm looking for something to make my makeup last all day and I want it to look smooth, I either reach for this or I reach for Fenty. Just amazing powders. The next powder I want to share with you is the Nakia Joy Setting Powder. Nakia Joy is an influencer here on YouTube, a beauty influencer. She's got oily skin like I do, so when I found out she had her own cosmetic line and she had a powder, I knew I had to try it. It comes from Australia, so it took a while to get to me, but this just shows you how much I love this. That's how much is left of this one, which is like nothing. I already have a backup. Fantastic setting powder. The only thing I don't like about this one is that it has the tendency to oxidize my foundation, like a couple shades, no matter what I put it over top of. But it is such a great powder. Super smoothing. It makes my makeup last probably longer than even the Fenty or the Huda. I love this powder. Absolute staple, and I'm glad I have a backup of it. Okay, now I want to share two pressed powders with you. The first one I discovered recently. My most recent haul from Sephora, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. This stuff literally is like airbrush in a compact. I mean, it makes my skin look so stinking smooth. I just love this powder so much. I wish it wasn't so expensive. However, I found a dupe in my collection. Somebody mentioned to me that the Jcat Beauty Aquasurance was a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and I have to agree with that. I used this like right after I used the Charlotte one. Honestly, it's just as creamy. It has the same exact kind of smoothing effect, yet it is literally a tiny fraction of the cost of this one. So if you're someone that really enjoys the Charlotte Tilbury powder, but you don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it, try the Jcat Beauty Aquasurance. It is amazing. Okay, so if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you probably know that blush is like, it's my heart. I love blush. I love applying too much blush. I'm a clown. I can't help it. I just love it. I love blush. I have several favorites in front of me. I didn't want to go through my collection and pick out every single blush I've been loving this year because it would be like over half of my blush collection, which is crazy. So I tried to be pretty picky about what I wanted to share with you, and I still have quite a few, but I did narrow it down quite a bit. So the first one I'm going to share is one that I found recently, and if you saw the try-on haul that I mentioned half of the other products in here, then you'll know it's the Nars Orgasm X blush. This blush is so pretty. It's this really beautiful, vibrant, like pink, but it's got a little bit of that orangey undertone to it. It's just beautiful. It has a sheen. It just makes your cheeks look healthy and glowy, and I am in love with this blush. Kind of wishing I would have bought the full size because I know I'm going to go through this. It's stunning. The next blushes I'm sharing with you are from Buxom. They're the Buxom Wanderlust blushes. These did not release this year. I believe they either released last year or the year before. But I love these blushes. They are so beautiful. They're primer infused, whatever that means. I think it's supposed to make them last longer or something. But they have this beautiful sheen to them. They smell just like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It kind of has that like beachy type of smell. I don't know. They are beautiful. The shades that I have are stunning, and they look stunning on the cheeks. Right now I have Dolly. This one's like a really gorgeous mauve color. One of my favorites. And then the other one that I have here to show you is Seychelles. This one's more of like a bronzy shade. So I like wearing this one like up higher on the cheekbone. But again, it has that sheen to it, and it's just, they're stunning. Love these blushes. The other single blushes I want to share with you are from MAC. So I just recently did, I think I did in my November favorites, I mentioned MAC. I have totally fallen in love with MAC blushes. I like their mineralized blushes. I like their matte blushes. I like their glow play blushes. But these were the ones that like started my obsession with MAC this year. I ended up buying, what was it? Grand, which is this really beautiful like beigey type of pink. I bought this, and then, oh, at the same time I bought the shade Groovy, which is like a really gorgeous, like bright kind of orangey shade. Stunning color. And then I went on to buy several more because I loved them so much. So MAC blushes in general have my heart. I've been loving on them this year, but specifically their Glow Play blushes are what kickstarted that obsession because they are phenomenal. I also have a couple of blush palettes to share with you. The first one is the Lunar Beauty Moon Prism. And I really like this because it's got a variety of shades in here, and they all look beautiful on the cheeks. The formula, I mean, it's powder, guys. It's kind of hard to screw up colored powder when you're talking about blushes. I mean, I guess you can if you make it to where they're not very long lasting, but Manny kills it with his brand. I love Lunar Beauty in general. I love the packaging on this, but more so when we're talking about wear and wear time, and we're talking about color, payoff, all that stuff. This is such a fantastic blush palette, and I'm so glad that I have it. I've used the crap out of it, and I would certainly recommend it to you guys. So this has definitely been a favorite for me this year. And then last up in my little blush category here is the Scott Barnes blush palette. So people seem to either really love this or really hate it. I really love it. I like that the colors in here are a little unique. Like we got this really strange like lighter orange shade in here. You can mix these together and create custom blush shades. You can do the same thing with the Moon Prism palette, but this one's a little more versatile because you have some really different shades in here. You got this bright pink, this really deep shade, again, that orange. I really enjoy this. I like being able to mix them. This is actually what I'm wearing on the cheeks today. I took the shade Sweet Cheeks and Strike a Rose and just mixed those two together. I did go over top with a crazy highlight, so you probably can't even really see the blush, but that's what I'm wearing today, and I really, really enjoy this blush palette from Scott Barnes. All right, let's head on over to, let's do contour first. So I wasn't somebody that really did a whole lot of contouring before this year. I mean, I fiddled with it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I fiddled with it. I experimented a little, but I didn't really like get into it until 2020. And oh, did I ever. So my favorite contour products at the moment, again, if you guys have been here for a while, you know the Scott Barnes contour palette is my absolute favorite because it has the shade Carve in here, and this is legit the perfect shade for my skin tone. It is perfection. It's not too cool, it's not too warm, it is just right, and I love it. The Scott Barnes contour palette is a staple in my routine. I have to have it. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when the shade Carve runs out because that's pretty much the only shade I use. I do use Diced sometimes, this one here. It's just a little bit darker than Carve, but Carve is my perfect contour shade, so been loving on this palette. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you is the Vanity Makeup Sculpting Glow palette. This is something that I saw Alexandra, is it Anele? I saw her share this on her channel, and the way she spoke about it, the way she used it, the way it worked for her, I was like, I need it. I need that palette, so I bought it, and I really enjoy this. I like this. I don't use these two at all. I only use it for the Sculpt shade because it's the perfect contour shade for me, again. So I really love this palette. I've been using it a lot. I've talked about it a little bit here on my channel, but I don't use it like every single time I do my makeup or anything, but I do really love it, and I would recommend it to you guys if you're looking for a good cream contour. And then last but not least for the cream contours is my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick in the shade Fawn. This is something that I saw It's Likely Makeup use, Jordy from It's Likely Makeup, and again, perfect shade for my skin tone. It's just got that perfect like gray kind of undertone to it. It's not too warm. It's perfectly cool, and it's a great contour shade. So if you are somewhere in the realm of my skin tone, I think this would really work for you if you're looking for a cream contour stick. Been loving it. This was kind of the year of bronzers and blushes for me. I'm not really sure why, but I've got quite a few sitting in front I want to share with you. So first up is one that I didn't discover this year. I've had this in my collection, but I recently fell back in love with it. This is my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunlight. This one is very smoothing on your skin. It is perfectly toned, so it's not too warm, it's not too cool. It is legitimately just right. So again, if you are in the realm of my skin tone and you're looking for a good bronzer that's affordable, this one's fantastic, and I've been using it a lot recently. Next up in here is a bronzer that I purchased in my last Sephora haul. I told you I've got a lot of products in this favorites video from that haul, which is, I know, might be cheating a little bit because I just hauled those things like a month ago, but I can't help it. I fell in love with so many of those products, and I've been using the absolute crap out of them since that video. So this is the Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer in the shade Into Sun, and it's fantastic. I'm so mad that I waited this long to purchase it. I love it. I've been using it all the time. I've been using it before I go to work. I've been using it to film with. I love this bronzer. It's smoothing. It's not patchy. It's long wearing. It's the perfect tone for my skin tone. I just love it. And then last up for the single bronzers is my L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze It Bronzer. This is another product that is not new to me. I've had this for quite a while. I've had it for a couple years now, and you can't even really tell that I've been using it that much, but I use it all the time. This is such a huge bronzer. I feel like this is going to last me forever, but it's so good. It's got a sheen to it. It's not too warm, not too cool. I like to use this as like a topper to put over top of matte bronzers, like right here on the high points of my cheekbone, and it just works so beautifully like that. This one is in the shade 1 Light. I love this bronzer. Okay, I have one more palette to share with you that's in the bronzing category. This is the Park Avenue Princess Chisel palette. This, again, not new to me. I've had this for a couple years now, and I really got a lot of use out of it this year. I even feel like maybe this was in my favorites. Was this in my 2018 favorites? I feel like it was. But the shade specifically here, Princess Cut, is the one that I've been using non-stop. I can use it as a contour. I can use it as a bronzer. It's just a really beautiful shade, and I really love this palette. Whenever I overdo something, whether it be my blush, if I need to clean up under here, sometimes I'll take the shade Halo, which is this like cool toned, like white shade. Works really well for that. If I'm looking for a bronzer with a little bit of shimmer, there's two in here that I can use. There's Carrot and Crown. Typically, I think I use Carrot because it's not as dark. This is such a good palette. I think this is still available on Sephora. I use this a lot. So I had to mention it in this video, even if it's an older favorite. It's definitely been a favorite for me this year too. So 2020 was a really big year for me for color exploration, as you can tell. So I really ventured outside of my comfort zone this year. I wanted to learn how to do more bold, colorful looks without them looking crazy. I don't know if I accomplished that. I'll let you be the judge. But nonetheless, I had so much fun just playing with different colors, coming up with different color stories on my eyes, using different makeup products to accent the colors on my lids. Specifically, products that I really fell in love with this year are the LA Girl neon eyeliners. You guys, if you've been here for a while, you've heard me talk about these eyeliners over and over and over again. I use them, I would say, 9 times out of 10 when I'm doing a colorful look. Well, maybe not 9 times, maybe 8 times out of 10. I'm using these colorful liners. The neon shockwave eyeliners. They are such good eyeliners. They're super pigmented. They're creamy. They're long wearing. I love them. I use them constantly. The other eyeliners that I've been using that I really enjoy, but these are hit or miss sometimes, are the ColourPop cream gel eyeliners, and I've got a bunch of those as well. So when I'm doing a colorful look, I'm either using the LA Girl or I'm using ColourPop. The only thing is with ColourPop, they're not as long wearing as the LA Girl ones, but they're both affordable, colorful, pigmented, creamy, all those things. It's just a little bit of hit or miss with the ColourPop. So love these. I just feel like these were an absolute staple in my makeup routine this year. I'm actually wearing this one here. This is actually a lip liner, but I used it as an eyeliner. So I don't know if it's the same exact formula as the eyeliner, but I hope they're interchangeable because it's in my waterline right now. Love them. Absolutely love both of these liners. So the next thing I want to share with you is the ColourPop Lippy Pencils. So I can't remember if it was this year or last year, but I bought the big box of lippy pencils. It came with like 50 of them, or I don't even know. I don't remember how many came in that box, but I have literally every color that I could ever need. This loud, crazy pink lip, I had a lippy pencil to line my lips with. So I've got black, gray, blue, green, orange, red, literally every color I would need, I have in a lippy pencil. So if you're somebody that's been looking for some lip pencils, and you know, it's kind of hard when you're buying single lip pencils, especially if they're expensive, like Pat McGrath, Natasha, Charlotte Tilbury. Those can get really expensive, and you have to be really careful with the shades you pick up because they're not going to match with everything. I have every shade that I need, so I don't really spend that much on lip pencils. I don't need to. I love these. I will say though, since I bought those lip pencils, more often than not, I will take that entire lip pencil over my lips and put a gloss over top and call it a day. I won't even use a lipstick. So I love those for that as well. So this year was more the year for the gloss for me, not so much lipsticks. I really didn't wear, I mean, I wore a few. I liked the Juvia's Place lipsticks. I wouldn't really call them favorites, but I liked them. I like the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea lipsticks. I like those a lot, actually. I probably could have included those in this video, but more so than anything else was glosses. So the two formulas specifically that I want to share with you is Lunar Beauty Lip Gloss. These were everything this year. The formula is so smooth, shiny, not gloppy and sticky, like juicy looking, the perfect lip gloss. So I only have 2 right now, but I plan on picking up more in the future. I have mine in the shade Starlight and Dreamy. Fantastic lip glosses. And then the other lip gloss formula I want to share with you is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. I was a late bloomer getting on board with this one. I didn't buy this right away when all the hype was out there. I bought it, was it this year? I think it was this year. And I have been using this a lot. And the fact that it's not even halfway gone, and I'm not joking, I use this a lot. So I don't know how I'm not halfway through it yet. This must be like a lot of gloss. Oh, it is a lot of gloss. Just for a size reference here, the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb is 0.3 fluid ounces, and the Lunar Beauty Lip Gloss is only 0.10. Anyway, love these lip glosses. I've been using them all year. I guess I should have mentioned, I'm not going to be sharing eyeshadow palettes with you guys because I do have a ranking video going up, ranking all of the palettes that I bought this year. If I were to sit here and share with you guys all of the palettes that were my favorites this year, I would be sharing a lot. So instead, I did a ranking video ranking my top 20 palettes of 2020. If that's already up before this video is, I will link that above so you guys can go check that out. So I'm not going to be mentioning palettes in this video. I just basically wanted to do everything else. So, last but not least, what I want to mention are a couple of mascaras, or a few mascaras. First and foremost, what I started off the year loving was the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. It's a mouthful. This one is lengthening, it gives volume, it just makes your lashes look luscious and longer, and it's affordable. It's from Essence, so it's drugstore. I really love this. I also love the waterproof version of that. If you need something that's going to be long wearing, it's not going to transfer, that's what I like the waterproof version for. So I've been using this a lot this year. I kind of graduated a little bit more, I wouldn't say luxury, but definitely not drugstore. I started using the Benefit Roller Lash. Now I can't really remember when I started using this year, but when I did, like, I just totally forgot about Essence, and that's all I started using was the Benefit. So it curls your lashes, it makes them longer. With the Benefit, it's not so much like crazy volume, it's more of a natural lash, but I like it. Like natural, but enhanced. I don't know how to explain it. I really love the Benefit Roller Lash. This was absolutely a staple this year. I think that's, oh no, I lied. One more thing. Well, it's not one more thing, it's a collection of things. So I told you I wasn't going to share palettes with you, but this year was the year of indie single shadows for me. I went ham. I fell in love with Divina, Terra Moons, Give Me Glow, JD Glow, Cleona, all those brands. I just completely fell in love. So I'm not going to go through and tell you like my favorite single shadows. I do have a video like that out already. I wasn't able to include all of them in it because I hadn't received some of them yet. But if you're interested in knowing what some of my favorite single eyeshadows are, I'll link that video above so you guys can go check it out, because I'm not going to go through and mention them all today. It would literally take all day. But just in general, this year was the year of single indie shadows for me. So I'm just going to flash them really quickly. So down here I have Terra Moons. Over here I've got all Divina. Actually, all of these are Divina. Loved both of those brands this year. And then in this one, I have JD Glow on this side. And over here, I've got Cleona at the very bottom. Sorry, my ring light was probably blinding you. So, I just fell in love with indie brands this year, basically, and specifically single shadows. So, that wraps up my favorites. I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. Oh, I didn't go over highlighters. See? I knew I was going to forget something. Let's go over highlighters really quickly. This year, Kaleidos kicked ass with highlighters. The one I'm wearing on my face right now is the Space Age Prophecy. It's their newer one. It's the multi-chrome one. Looks like that. I mean, I don't know if you guys can catch the full effect here, but it is so beautiful. And I know that this is newer to me. I've only had it for a few weeks, but it is one of my favorite highlighters in my collection, and I'm going to use the crap out of it. Best believe. I have several more from Kaleidos. I've got Solar Sailor, I've got Ray Rider, I have Mars Melter. What else do I have? I feel like I have one more. So I really enjoy Kaleidos highlighters. They are fabulous. All right, the next highlighters that I want to share with you guys are from Dior. This is the Backstage Glow Face Palette in the shade Rose Gold. I picked it up during the Sephora sale, just like, again, some of the other products I shared with you guys, and I've been using it nonstop. It is such a fabulous palette, so shimmery and shiny and just gorgeous. The next highlighter that I want to share with you is also from Dior. This is the Dior Skin Nude Luminizer. I picked this one up towards the start of the pandemic, and it's a little deep for my skin tone because I was a dummy and grabbed shade 5. Like, I don't know why I'm never a shade 5 in anything. I'm pretty pasty, so, but I love this. It's so beautiful. It's not at all glittery. It's just got a beautiful sheen. It makes your cheeks look wet. Love that. Been using it a lot. And then last but not least, for highlighters, I had to share this even though this is probably one of the oldest products that I have in my makeup collection. When I first really started getting into makeup, I bought a lot of affordable makeup. I bought a lot of BH Cosmetics, a lot of Morphe, a lot of affordable makeup. The BH Cosmetics Duo Light Highlight Palette. Whenever I'm going for a really colorful look that includes purple, pink, orange, I dip into this highlight palette. I don't know if you guys can see the shifts there. Probably not. It is so affordable. It's so good. It's not glittery. It's just shiny and makes your cheeks look wet, but it's got that color to it that makes it stunning. I love this palette, and I've been using it a lot this year, so I wanted to include it in this favorites again, even though it's not anything recent. I've been using it a lot this year. Okay, now we're finished with my favorites video. So you guys will have to let me know, what were you all loving this past year? Do you guys share any of the same favorites as me? I want to know. Let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. If you guys like this type of video from me, please be sure to tell me by giving this one a big thumbs up. If you've made it this far in the video but you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please don't forget to do that before leaving. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss my future uploads, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.